What is up, everybody? I am George Mossey. So I'm here with my co-host Heather C. So last night, Extreme Sisters season 2, episode 1 has aired. Now there are some new sisters, and there are some returning sisters, and there are some sisters who didn't come back. So there's a lot to talk about. I'm really excited to meet these new sisters. So we're just kind of trying to jump right in on the George Mossey show and kind of dissect this because a lot of times this show is really different for me, and I'm watching it, and I'm usually like, whoa, I can't relate to that. So actually, this new set of sisters, I can relate to a lot. So we headed to Dallas, Texas, and we met V and Ashley, who are our very first set of stepsisters on Extreme Sisters. So they met 13 years prior when their parents started to date. Now, I can relate to that because my family is a broken family, and I also have step siblings. And I also believe that family is not defined by blood. So I love this story, and I feel like this is a good way to include them in their story and their representation on this. And just like me, their friendship started with not liking each other. So, like every friendship that I've ever had, and you can vouch for this, I dislike that person before I actually like that person. That's just how I am. I have to hate you first before I can learn to love you. So I relate so much to them, and I just feel like they're kind of the breakout for me. Like, right? I know we haven't met everyone, but like, how do you feel about V and Ashley?
First of all, thanks for having me. It's been a minute since I've been on. I think that they're pretty cool. I mean, there's obviously way more to their story. I do like that it's different. They're not twins. And they didn't grow up their whole lives together. So I do like that setting. It gives it a little bit of a twist because all the sisters that we've seen in the previous, they all were related by blood, or they were twins, if not all twins, maybe. um, but I don't know. I like them. I think that there's more that we need to learn to their story. I like that they're there for each other, and it's kind of like they have that ride or die whether people like it or not. Because I know she really wants to be able to give her sister the child that she's longing for, and she doesn't care who she makes upset doing it. So their story does seem really interesting, and I can't wait to see more about them.
So one thing that stood out to me was they went out and well, V went with Ashley because she was going to get her vagina pierced. And they were all up in each other's stuff. Like, and V pulled out a flashlight. And like even the piercer was like, "Did you just pull out a flashlight?" And she's like, "Yeah, I got to get all up in there and make sure that you get this right because I don't want my sister having the wrong area pierced." And that was insane to me. So like I'm gonna go ahead and say that they're just as close as all of the other sisters because we've seen them take baths together, share bath water, use the bathroom at the same time. We've seen a lot, share boyfriends. So we've seen a lot. So I think that their story is very, very interesting. One thing that stood out to me as well was V is the mother of 10. There's no way, right? I looked at her and I was like, there's no way that she's given birth to 10 kids. She looks amazing. So the idea that her longtime partner, Demetrius, is not okay with her carrying this baby, I want to know the story behind that because this is a gift, right? She's giving her sister Ashley the gift of a daughter, which she doesn't have. She has two sons. She wants this daughter. And I want to know why the family is so against that. There has to be a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see it from his point of view because unlike this situation, he was involved. Like he was the father. I mean, in a kind of weird subliminal type way, it kind of makes the person feel a little left out. Like their partner is giving birth and it's not your child. So it's not like a cheating situation, but it's like subconsciously you're kind of like, okay, you're going to go through the mood swings, the morning sickness. He knows what she's like pregnant because he's seen it 10 other times. So he's probably like, I can't even share that experience with you. And then maybe towards the end, he might even get attached. So I don't know. I guess I kind of see it from his feelings, if that
Hmm.
is, like maybe the reason why he feels the way he does. Um, but maybe he will, think differently as, as the season goes on, and he might get used to the idea. I mean, like you said, she's really helping her sister out. So I think that, it might be hard for him to get on board, but hopefully he will, because, giving that person that gift, that's a gift that not everybody can do. So it's pretty special.
So Anna and Lucy are back. They are the world's most identical twins, and they literally do everything the same. They have had issues getting a job because if one gets the job and one doesn't, one would volunteer at that job so they could do the exact same thing at the exact same time, which
Uh,
I think is insanity because they're not getting paid. They just have to do the exact same thing. And it's gotten in the way of a lot of things. And we've watched them talk about having babies at the same time, and they both want to be a mother. They want to experience motherhood, but if they can't do it at the exact same time, give birth at the same time, raise a child at the same time, they don't want to do it at all. And their mom is feeling like they shouldn't really give up on that dream just because they can't do it at the same time. And I kind of agree with their mom. It's just important for you to be an aunt to your sister's child as it is for you to be a mom. So I don't understand why they want to give up on this dream, because they would be an amazing mother and they feel like they're the same person, right? They feel like they're one person morphed together. So if one of them had a baby, it would be both of their babies. Like I don't understand why they feel like if they can't do it the way that they intended, they can't do it at all. Because I know that it's hard because in their country, they want to marry Ben and they don't allow one man to marry two women. And now they also see this setback as now they can't have the dream of being mothers at the same time. But I do feel like having children at different times doesn't make it any different. Those kids will still grow up and be very close.
So their story has always been really controversial. Ever since the first season, there's a lot of things that I often wonder why they do one way and not the other. Like, for instance, the fact that they share a boyfriend, they share one man. I don't understand why they don't do what the other sisters do and find themselves a pair of twins. That way they both have a boyfriend. They're all similar. And at the end, it's like two sets of the same person, basically. So that way, they do have better chances of getting pregnant, because that'd be two different guys. And you know what I mean? And like, if your baby grows up, then you got to try to explain this whole situation. And I don't know, like, to each his own. I mean, it's their lives and they're the ones that live it. It's just, being on TV and being in front of America, people are going to have questions. I don't think that that's so bad to ask them. And so you have a better understanding of, different things. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think that basically, I don't see why they can't be like, okay, if you get pregnant, I'm all on board. I'm going to help bathe the baby, change the baby, and do things together the same. I mean, like you said, they're going to act like they're both the mom. So what's the difference?
Well, yeah, they do everything the exact same way. So if one was holding the baby for 20 minutes, the other would hold the baby for 20 minutes. If one changed the diaper, the next diaper, the next sister would do. So they have to do everything the same. So I don't know why they would give up on that. And also, one other thing that caught me as odd, and this is going to sound weird because their whole situation might catch people as odd. On Thursday nights, they have a lolly night and they only eat candy. That's weird, right? Like, I mean, I get like having like a dessert after dinner, but their entire dinner was a tray of candy and they were eating candy on Thursday. And even Ben, their boyfriend, was looking at them like, this is weird. And I'm like, Ben, I feel you. Like, this whole situation is weird, but just that eating candy for dinner is just weird to me. That caught me off guard.
I love that that's what you took away from their whole story, is that they eat candy on Thursdays. Like, there are so many Americans that eat candy like every day of the week, probably for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So the fact that they just, give it one day, that's pretty good. I'm sure they have, like a normal breakfast and lunch. So they're just having like that type of dinner. But yeah, they're very interesting. Their story is very entertaining to watch. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but that's why it's reality TV. It gives you something to talk about.
All right, so we met another set of new sisters. So Jordan and Randy. So it's gonna get complicated. So guys, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, it's gonna get complicated. They are a set of twins. They're 25 years old. They're from Houston, Texas, and Jordan is married to Daniel. These Daniel and Derek are also a set of twins. Like I said, it's gonna get complicated. Try to keep up. I'm sorry. Maybe you should take notes. And Randy is dating Derek, who has not actually proposed yet. And we're going to talk about that a little later. So they are actually from a tiny town in Texas and they grew up in the country. And their dad kind of, their words, not mine, raised them as boys, took them hunting, took them into the woods, and they know how to use tools. And they're very independent and they can do a lot of things on their own. And they said that in actuality, they don't need a man. They don't need men at all in their lives. They just want to have families and have kids. So the reason why Daniel and Derek are even in their lives at all is because they want that. They don't need it. They feel like they complete each other. They don't need anyone else outside. But in order to have a family and have kids, this is what they want. And they actually want to live together, like in the same home. So apparently, Randy's apartment lease is going to be up in like a month. And in order for Randy and Derek to live together in the home that Jordan and Daniel, who are married, just purchased, they need Derek to propose to her. And I don't know if it's like a religious thing or it's just a principle thing. They need them to be engaged in order to live together. And Derek hasn't even brought it up. And they're kind of wondering why not, because his brother has already turned the key on this. They're already married. They bought a home together. What's holding Derek back? And we're watching them kind of push him into it. And a lot of people on Twitter are like, you can't make somebody ask you to marry them. You can't push someone to ask the question. But it's like sometimes you do need to put a little nudge. You know, sometimes people get a little too comfortable and they take for granted what they have. Because Randy said if he doesn't ask, there's going to be a huge problem. She's not going to just sit around and wait.
Yeah, you know what? I actually really like them. I think that they're really pretty, and I like that they have this like tough girl attitude. They're a little bit country, but yet they're a little bit city as well. They had mentioned. I like that they kind of are take all, take on. I'm gonna do this. I don't need no man. You know, I'm with you because I want to be with you because I love you, not because I need you. And I love that type of attitude. I think that by her standing her ground and being so like straightforward with him is good, because I think that's like a lot of people do. They always like beat around the bush. They never get to the point, and that's why a lot of relationships go south, because they're not being honest and open. I mean, maybe she is pushing him a little bit too much to the point. It could be fabricated a lot for TV, you know, but obviously he doesn't mind if he's still with her. And he did mention in the one segment that he does want to marry her. He just wants to be able to do it. You know, he wants to concoct it in his own mind and everything. But it's good that she's standing up for herself and she's standing her ground and she's letting him know, like, hey, I have a timeline on things. This is where I want to see things go. I'm with you because I love you, not because I need you to complete me or to help pay my bills or whatever. I'm with you because I generally want to be with you. I like that my sister and your brother are together. I like the relationship. We can all be one happy family. Like, I really like the fact that she did stand up for herself and basically just be straightforward, because whether she's pushy or not or whatever, at least she got her point across and he knows where she stands.
That's true. And they take baths together. So Jess and Christina, these are sisters for you, friends at least. And they like to pop pimples. And guys, I have to say I like to pop pimples too. Like I don't like to pop other people's pimples, but if I do get a pimple, I will pop it. I know this isn't, I shouldn't say that. That's probably gross. I'm sorry. Also, if anybody knows what the deal is with putting frozen vegetables on your boobs, can y'all explain it to me? I tried to ask on Twitter and nobody could tell me what it was, but they were doing that in the tub. I don't know if you guys saw that. And I just want to know, what is that about? Is that like something that people are doing now? Is that like a new trend? I don't know what's going
Is
on with
that a
that.
new way to cook dinner? I
Right. Like, what's up with that? Is that like cooking while you're in the bathtub? All right, guys, that's it. That's what happened on episode 1 of Extreme Sisters. I am your host, George Mossey. This is my co-host, Heather C. Stay with us. We are going to be watching all season long with you. We're going to meet the rest of the sisters, and I can't wait. There's a set of triplets, and they're gamers, like Twitch streamers, so this is going to be really interesting, guys. So make sure you're staying with us. I'm George Mossey, at George Mossey on all social media platforms. I'm at georgemossey.com and anywhere you get your podcast, and we will talk to all of you guys really soon.